All right, horror fans, it's the Grim Lord here, and this is Grimm's Comics Corner. This is what you guys wait for every weekend. It's Eerie, Volume 2. We're there. There's like 27 of these, and it'll probably take us a number of months. So, yeah, we're not going to run out of Eerie anytime soon, but we will run out eventually, so we'll have to figure out something. But, alright, for now, we've got plenty of Eerie, so let's get started with issue number 6 from Volume 2. Dark Horse Archives, of course. Hello, hello, you enthusiasts of evil. I knew you'd come back for another visit to my vile vault of nightmares. You can count on your cousin Eerie to bring you the very beast stories and artists in the terrifying world of the weird. Trust me, you've never screamed anything like this, and I won't let you leave without a souvenir to remember your visit by. Classic artists. Look at those names, guys. Classic artists. Classic writers, too. Okay, we've got New Terror and the Creepy Tradition. Within this magazine lurks a world of illustrated terror and suspense. Illustrated tale. I'm sorry. So these are these are the actual volumes. Yeah, or we'll go through those later. The actual issues. I'm sorry. Let's not get this mixed up. So the way we'll be numbering this is Eerie number 6. If you guys notice, I took the volume thing off because it's going to get really freaking confusing when it goes Eerie Volume 2, Issue 6. You're going to be like, what? What happened to Volume 2, Issue 1? So instead, I'm just calling it Eerie Issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever. It's easier that way, and you guys don't get all confused. And it's easier on me, too. So yeah, a lot of great stories here. Oh, there's a Frank Frazetta interview here. Could probably do this if it's not too long. This one's kind of long, guys. We're probably gonna want you to buy it. You don't need this all right now. You can just buy it and read this yourself. It's mighty long. No offense, but we need to really get to the horror. All right. New Terror and the Creepy Tradition. Eerie. November number 6. 35 cents. Fear haunts the cave of the Druids. Time again for a little acid art appreciation, students of the Startling. Get out the picture hooks while I apply the finishing touches from my pulsating palette to this newest monster piece in Eerie's Monster Gallery. Number 5, The Man-Made Monster. Piece by piece from graves ghoulishly violated during night's blackest hours. A hulking caricature is created of inanimate flesh to be given life by electrical power or chemical injections from scientific genius gone mad. Such power, once created, is seldom controllable and most often turns on its own creators. Flames may consume it, earth or water may bury it, but who can be sure it is truly dead? The Frankenstein story is actually, in my opinion, a proto-robot story, because a lot of the means that they use to bring Frankenstein back with electricity and all that is exactly what we use to power robots today. And they are typically considered to be artificial life forms, so it kind of makes sense. Frankenstein was the great-great-great-grandfather to the robots that we have today. Or Frankenstein's monster, rather. Okay, so we got a Monster Gallery, the Cave of the Druids, Deep Ruby, Running Scared, Curse of Kali, oh that sounds cool, Trial by Fire, Point of View, and the Changeling. Okay. Some classic letters here from the 1960s. Remember, they wrote on actual paper and mailed these with envelopes all the way to New York. Those were the days. Wasn't a such thing as email back then, guys. You couldn't DM people. It was handwritten and put it in the envelope, and you would lick you had to lick the envelope, and it always tasted nasty. Blech. And then you would just put it in the envelope, put it in the mail, and you were so happy when you got a response back, either in the magazine or maybe you'd get something in the mail. You get like a free poster or something. It's always cool stuff. Ready to go roamin' in the gloamin' with one of Caesar's soldiers' fang friends? Then leap back with me through hysterical history to 41 AD, when Rome's legions have extended the empire to the British Isles, bringing civilization to a dark and superstitious land. But watch now and see if even Roman might can penetrate the lurking horrors of the Cave of the Druids. His strong right hand clenching and unclenching on the hilt of his flat sword, Marcus Severus stared impatiently into the leathery face of the ancient Celt. His reputation in the Legion had been made by action. The old man's ramblings and warnings did not sit well. My orders are to contact that patrol wherever they may be. If this is their path, so be it. Go no further, Legionnaire. The comrades you seek plunged unheeding into the black wood. Be not as foolish as they. Evil haunts this shadowed place. Those who enter seldom leave. I won my freedom in the sands of the Colosseum, grandfather. If I escaped a gladiator's death, surely I can find my way out of your forest. The trail twisted and turned among the gnarled, spreading oaks whose intertwining overhead branches all but shut out the late afternoon sun. Bless the thick-headed centurion who'd lead a patrol into this! What was he thinking of? What led him to it? A sound drifted through the silent trees, tinkling and hollow like the laughter of a woman far away. Did any bird ever make such a mocking sound? Yet what else could it be? Clearing ahead, but that smell coming from it. There's but one such stench. The stench of death. The patrol. Every man with his heart ripped out. Night had descended on the gloomy wood by the time Marcus had put the last legionnaire in a shallow grave, leaving the mutilated bodies some small protection against the scavengers of the forest until the garrison could take proper action. Too dark to try to make it back by the trail. Best I get an early start at dawn. This night I sleep with unsheathed sword. The perpetrators of this butcher's work may yet return to the killing ground. Long hours crept by. Night breezes blew chill and the forest damp set in, making Marcus long for the warm olive groves of southern Italy. Each man dead, but no sign of a battle. Hearts are not sliced like that from the body of any living warriors. Something else got those men. There was a sound of movement in the trees. With a cry, Marcus leaped up, only to be caught in the vice grip of slithering snakes of gnarled oak. The trees! They're alive! The constricting bands drew tight, forcing the life breath out of the legionnaire whose blade flashed and hacked at the unnatural menace. Swords no good, like striking iron. This is how the patrol died, crushed by these demon trees. One last chance, going to die if I miss. Marcus flicked with his sword, sending a blazing firebrand arching into the air. Got it! Ignoring the pain of gripping the smoldering branch, the Roman thrust again and again with his fiery weapon against the death clutch of the oaks. They can't take the flame. Releasing me. Weakened by the ordeal, Marcus collapsed within the safety of the fire's glow, not moving for long moments, then freezing still as from the surrounding darkness something stirred. He fought for nothing. The trees have done their work. This night we'll face the altar with another Roman heart for great Dispater. Every muscle in his steel-framed body tensed as Marcus heard the stealthy footfalls on the forest floor. A shadowy figure bent near. Alive! The Roman swineherds alive! Their horned helmets, their druids, demon worshippers, all! Above him, the tree leaves were rattled by a faint wind, which also carried with it the same distant laughter Marcus had heard earlier. By my one good eye, it is a woman's laugh! From the same direction as came these barbarous assassins. Cautiously the Romans slid through the darkness and into another, smaller clearing marked by a huge boulder bearing strange symbols. A druid stone, and voices from beneath it. No need to read the markings to know this is the Viper's lair. Chanting, led by a woman's voice. These steps plunge so far, perhaps to the underworld itself. Great Dispater, you who have made the trees move at our command. You who have given vast powers to my wand of you. You who feast on the hearts of Roman dead. Hear your priestess. Man, she's got a very deep voice, doesn't she? The gods take me. The druids try to rival Pluto himself. Marcus crouched low in silent fury as the barbarous rites were played out. breathe life into our slain king, the life from the hearts of those who killed him. 'Tis as I feared, the hearts were not worthy to move so noble a body. Even passes of the mighty wand have no avail. Even as you see me in my wand as proof of Dispater's magic, even as I drew the other Romans to us, even so does my sorcery call yet another of warrior's heart. He who lurks behind you, seize him. His heart will bring life to your king. It was her laughter I heard, taunting me on, drawing me here. Druidess witch, learn how dearly Marcus Severus sells his heart. Our numbers are not the match for his skill. Then let him face the powers of my wand. Above the ring of his own slashing sword, Marcus heard the sound of the druidess' mocking laughter as her wand danced through the air. The attackers melted into a hideous new form. Fight on, only as the spawn of great Dispater can. Jupiter's blood, she pits me with the gladiators of the damned. My struggle is doomed. The killing strokes left in my arm are numbered. Each thrust brings me another step closer to death at these unnatural hands. Yet all this evil, all her power lies in the wand. Aching limbs and muscles pushed to the limits of mortal endurance went taut with one last effort, and out of the swirling riptide of combat, Marcus leaped. My wand! Stop him! Stop him! Base idol! Consume the fruit of your own evil! A great quiet enveloped the huge cavern as the wand of yew turned into a blackened crisp within the raging inferno of the idol's mouth. It worked! But why are they staring? No! Oh, no! The wand, it was my life! My power! Its fate was my own! Yee! Pity and revulsion are not stock in trade of a warrior and soldier, yet Marcus can feel both as he warily pushed through the stunned druids to the steps leading to the outer world of sanity and light, leaving the charred scent of burnt ashes to forever haunt the cave of the druids. And as good old Marcus wanders out of the cave, there's no sense in your hanging around wondering what my next weird work's like. Turn to it. It's wonderful. You Eerie enthusiasts are just in time to take part in a little terror transaction I'm arranging. As usual in my demonical deals, there are a few strings attached, as jeweler Lester Darrow finds out in this little gem I call Deep Ruby. Perhaps it was a few years ago, perhaps a few minutes. I'm no longer certain, and it no longer matters. I had worked quite late at the shop and was starting home. What the? Psst, mister! The man was a horror, seedy and wretched, a leering, lurching example of how low humanity could sink. I recoiled at the very sight of him approaching me. Get back! I'll have the police on you if you try anything. Don't get excited. I've got something that'll interest you. My revulsion seemed almost to delight him. He pressed close, snaggle-toothed mouth breaking into a terrible smile. I tensed as the dirty, split-nailed fingers fumbled in his pocket. Nothing you have could ever see anything like this? I've dealt in gems most of my life, yet never had I seen the match of the glimmering red oval before me. So large, so perfect. It can't be real. Take your time. Look it over closely. How much do you want for it? Money isn't the object. The important thing is, do you want it? Look closely. Decide. It's too crazy. You're up to something. Find another sucker. Don't be hasty, Mr. Darrow. Why not have just one more look? Just to be certain. A good close look. Perhaps I will. One more glance can't hurt. Yes, but not just a glance. Study it. The rich, full color. That deep, gleaming red. Examine the vastness. The complexity within, beyond the cut surface. There's more. Much more. Yes. I must have it. Even as I was uttering the words, I felt drawn more and more to that swirling, blood-red vastness that sparkled and glittered before me. Must have it. Must! Until the terrible extent of my fascination began slowly to penetrate my overwhelmed senses. The ruby! I'm inside it! Inside! Among the handlers of precious stones, there are dark rumors vaguely alluded to, strange tales of dreaming jewels, sorcerer's stones, priceless gems cursed and haunted, and in one maddening instant I knew them to be true. This can't be happening. It can't be. Yet it was. Like some wanderer of the cosmos, I plunged deeper and deeper into this microcosmic universe, at the mercy of a power beyond my comprehension. And as I swept on, came the growing uncomfortable sensation that I was not alone in this nightmare dimension. Outsider! Another outsider! Yeah! Screeching horror swooped toward me on demon wings. My wits failed me, but somehow my reflexes did not. Nothing could have been shorter lived than this brief victory, for the inhabitants of this deep ruby world were not limited in number. Outsider! Outsider! No! Good God, no! Nor strength and agility. We have him. He's ours! Why are you doing this? I don't mean any harm. Leave me alone, please! Helplessly in the grip of the supernatural, I was pulled through the ever-shifting atmosphere towards an increasingly thunderous, grinding sound. That thing ahead. Where are you taking me? What is that? It is the source, the center of the ruby universe. I don't understand. What's its purpose? Why bring me here? Surely it is obvious, outsider, even to you. Think, what is the color of the ruby? Blood red! Even deeper, ever deepening, ever glittering, ever fresh. In the face of grinding death, I found the strength of insane desperation. No! Plunging with driving animal fear away from the place of sacrifice, slashing through layer after layer of nebulous nightmare. Help! There must be someone! Some way out! I'll do anything! Help me! Until I pounded with bleeding hands against the outer shell of this universe of horror. There's only one way out, Mr. Darrow. You'll have to pay a small price. Anything. Those creatures are right behind me. Any price you ask, I agree to. This time there was no fading or swirling, only one vast, all-consuming jolt. Aye! Now, as I crouch here in the shadows, staring out into the very real everyday world, I realize fully the price required of me to escape that deep ruby hell. And I know exactly what I must do, and keep doing until I find one who is willing to pay the same price. Someone. Anyone. Psst, mister. Don't get excited. I've got something that'll interest you. Ever seen anything like this? Well, writhing readers, how's your sales resistance? Don't examine the merchandise too closely, or you may finish the issue from inside the ruby. Better play it safe and run on to the next of my nauseating novelettes. 500 horror photos in each exciting magazine. Only 50 cents each. Mole people. Frankenstein, Horror of Dracula, and then you have Horror of Party Beach. Interesting. Ants, real ones too, and their own ant farm. Who else wants a live monkey? You can be the happiest boy on your block with your own live baby squirrel monkey. Have loads of fun and enjoyment. Train your monkey to do tricks. Come to you for food, petting and playing. These delightful monkeys grow to almost 12 inches tall and are golden in color. Slender, short-haired. Each monkey has a heart-shaped face, appealing eyes, and grows a tail almost 14 inches long. No problem caring for or feeding your monkey. It eats lettuce, carrots, fruits, almost anything you eat. Affectionate and lovable, almost a member of the family soon after you get your pet. Dress it in cute costumes. Put on shows. You and your monkey can be real pals. Live delivery guaranteed. Send $19.95 and check your money order. Pay delivery, man. Small express charges for safe delivery to you. Wow. You could actually buy a friggin' monkey. That's what I need in my life. A live monkey. I don't know that everything would be destroyed. It would jump around. Yes, oh my God, it's everywhere. Don't touch that. It's a collector's item. What are you doing? Oh my God. Watch the miracle of birth before your eyes. Baby chick. Then we have a monster hand. Perpetual motion solar engine. Energy from light makes it work. Monster fly. Human skeleton. Is that what we look like inside? Silent dog whistle. mysterious, only dogs can hear it. Amaze everyone when you blow the silent dog whistle. Supersonic features make it silent to human ears, but your dog will respond instantly. Only $1. Mad Doctor Hypodermic Needle. You're the mad doctor with this amazing duplicate of your physician's real hypo syringe and needle. Take blood tests, give shots, fool everyone. Blunt, harmless needle seems to enter vein but actually rides back into syringe. Tube seems to fill with victim's blood. Red liquid is built into the safe, funny gadget. Monster foot. Put your best foot forward wearing a grotesque monster foot. Gruesome skull cup. This may kill your thirst, but think of the fun as you die laughing drinking from your skull cup. Perfect copy of a real skull. Complete set of 5 different monster rings. Horrible Herman dares you to look into the box. What's in the box? We don't know. Dracula's own rubber bat. If it's true that people fear bats, you'll have the time of your life when they walk in on this one. Dracula's own rubber bat. So real, it may even scare you. Suction cup lets you put him on the wall, closets, fences, beds, etc. Then have fun driving folks crazy with fear. Grab your track shoes, goalmates. Be sure to get one for each tentacle. And get set for the big race into horror as we share the frantic frenzy of a frightened gent named Andrew Barton who's literally running scared. This is useless, Mr. Barton. You can't escape us. Never. Chest heaving and breath short from running, you flatten back into the shadows of the alleyway, wishing the mist-dampened bricks could absorb your entire body in vain. You try to still the loud, violent tattoo of your frightened heart, which only accelerates at the sinister clatter of approaching footsteps. No sound of footsteps if he were here still running. No sound of footsteps. If he were still running, we'd hear it. He must be around here, hiding. Only one logical place. Your tortured lungs betray you as they pump and draw, demanding loud gulps of air despite any attempts to hold back, while the dark figures stalk forward like living shadows out of the night's heavy dampness. The alley! Panic swells within you. You have to act, quickly, desperately, now! Get back! Leave me alone! Barton, come to your senses, this is unheard of! Mr. Stark and I are only doing what we must! Listen to Mr. Prine, you can't fight the inevitable! Get away from me! Get away! Crash! We'll get you, Barton. No matter where you run, where you go, we'll get you! Now you run, fast and hard as you have many times before in this night of terror, slipping and sliding on concrete and asphalt puddled and damp from the shroud-like drizzle, running to elude the 2 menacing shadows which even now stretch out after you like grasping phantom fingers, until you can run no more. Oh, Lord, no, no! In anguish you whirl, only to face again those 2 countenances of grinning evil, slowly, confidently moving forward for their prey, for you. How foolish you have been, Barton! How unreasonable! For what? A few minutes? A few hours? I won't let you get me! Not now! Not ever! Your body knifes into the inky surface, cutting deep into the murky depths, and you surrender to the chill, swirling clutch of the river's current. Disappeared? He should have been up by now. We can't have lost him. It's impossible. Impossible! Sooner or later, we'll get him. If not here, then somewhere else. Sooner or later. Long moments drag by, and the water's chill sinks deep into muscle and bone. Then when frayed nerves threaten to drive you screaming, the decaying wood timbers echo departing footfalls, and you pull yourself up, and once again face the terror of the mist-ridden night. Can't go on like this. Can't keep running. Now your tortured mind begins to function, reaching beyond the limits of raw pursuit and survival, and for the first time since this chain of horror was forged, you know where to go. Lucky to find you this time of night. I want to go to... We know where you want to go, Mr. Barton. Ah! No! No, no, not again! Slam! Don't resist any longer. You're only making it harder. Once more you run, legs aching, lungs screaming, the sound of your footsteps being eaten by the squeal of the car behind you. Why don't they give up? Why must they be after me? Can't keep fighting much longer. They loom close behind, about to bring you to earth like a hunted animal. And like many hunted animals, you take refuge underground. That sound. Trains coming. And your refuge is well chosen. I'm free of them. Free to do what I want. Free to go home. Home. The subway does what the taxi could not. You are out of the towering steel and concrete menace that was the city. You move now through rain-laden grass and shrubs, home to the peace and safety you've been seeking. Better use the side entrance just in case. Home to warmth and comfort, familiar surroundings, and a loving wife. Alice! Andrew! What are you doing here? You've no right to come back. No right at all! Alice, I'm your husband. I don't understand, darling. I don't understand. There's nothing I can do for you. Nothing. Does this convince you? Ah! The scream is hardly out of your throat before they are on you. Your pitiful struggling is useless. This time there is no escape. None. Thanks for the cooperation, Miss Barton. This time he won't get away. Get the stretcher. We'll tie him to it. Take no chances. You scream in helpless rage, rant and swear as they carry you from your home, past your unmoved wife. This is wrong. You're making a mistake. You can't do this to me. Of course we can, Mr. Barton. It's our job. You're the one who's not behaving correctly at all. Suddenly, even as these grotesque, pasty-faced men are saying it, you sense the whole horrible truth behind all that's been happening to you, and you still refuse to admit it. After all, you're the one who's dead. No, I don't believe it. I'm alive. Alive. Really, Barton, it'd be so much easier if you just face it. You've caused enough trouble already. The inside of the ambulance is filled with equipment. Terrible equipment to be used on the dead. To be used on you. You ran away before we could start the embalming. Now we have to do it in the ambulance to save time. Relax, Barton. You won't feel a thing. Dead men never do. There is a sharp stinging sensation inside the elbow of each of your arms. Slowly at first, then ever faster, the world begins to spin and disintegrate to the accompaniment of Stark and Prine's maniacal laughter and your own screams. But I'm alive! 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 Suddenly everything fades and grows silent. You are alone and safe and feeling very foolish. A dream. Just a dream, and a doozy at that. Running around dead but feeling like I was alive. Woo! You stare upward into the darkness, not yet calm from the nightmare experience, relishing the peace and quiet around you. Better watch what I eat before going to bed. Don't want to go through anything like that again, dream or not. You think about getting up, having a cigarette, but you don't do anything. It's easier just to lie there staring. No use disturbing Alice. That light? There, Miss Barton. Mr. Stark and I think it's one of our finest jobs. It's amazing, Mr. Prine. Andrew looks so natural. No! Lord, no! You try to scream, but nothing happens. You can only listen to their idle talk, and stare, and smile, and perhaps occasionally dream. It can't be. The dream wasn't wrong. I'm really dead! Who says the dead don't dream? Not Andy Barton, certainly. Of course he had more of a nightmare. And if you're not having him yet, try my next terror trifle. Grab your pith helmet, horror habituates, and we'll join the mad dogs and Englishmen out in the noonday sun for this rabid rambling of Queen Victoria's army in India and how they face the curse of Kali. No answer to our signals, sir. Entire village appears deserted. Blast! First the telegraph out, now this. Leave half the party up here in reserve. We'll ride in, Captain. The afternoon sun pulsed brightly, and the western wind created dust devils to accompany the column as it moved into the village, heralded by the beat of vulture wings. Not a soul, nothing but those ruddy birds, and no sign of Lieutenant Smith or his garrison. We'll soon know for certain, sir, that's their barracks. Merciful God, best see this for yourself, sir. Flies hovered in fetid atmosphere of the darkened room like a vibrating, buzzing fog. Both men winced. The bodies, chalk white. I've never. Smythe had 9 men with him. I count only 8. The lieutenant and his sergeant still missing. A cry echoed through the village. The 2 officers rushed in the direction of the sound. It's Sergeant Cairn. He won't budge. Won't let nobody in there. Not till I've had my say, sir. Hear out my story before you rush inside. Easy, man. We'll listen. Take your time. Tell us everything. There's things happen here, sir. Ain't so easily believed, but they're not the less true for it. Might be I wish they were lies. 17 years I've sarved the Queen, and many of her officers too. There's few of 'em I place above Lieutenant Nigel Smythe, few indeed. Trouble again, Kern? Telegraph lines cut? Not so simple, sir. 'Tis more than the usual devilment set upon us this time. 'Twas death set upon us, horrible death, with many a visit yet to come. One of the native workers' sentry found him this morning. Thugs, this is their work, the knotted cord of the Train-Gore Otter, disciples of the goddess Kali. He was good, was Lieutenant Smythe, but don't be forgetting he was young and too long lonely. When the lines are up again, we'll notify headquarters. This could be the beginnings of something. I say, Karen, she's lovely. Who is she? A wee glimpse of dark eyes passing on the street, and it was started, and not even me with my early misgivings knew where it'd end. That girl, Sahib? That girl is spoken for, chosen for great purpose. No man may claim her. Does anything make love bloom stronger than by telling it no? And if I had doubts about the wisdom of such a match, they wavered on the first night of the full moon. There, Sergeant, just as she told me it would be. Deploy the men round the temple quickly. Make no mistake, the girl loved the lieutenant, yet she'd been trained for a purpose, and for a purpose she submitted. Hear thy children, Mother Kali, priestess of darkness, drinker of blood, accept this sacrifice. Quench your thirst on the blood of this offering. But she had told Lieutenant Smythe, and for him to know was enough to save her. The lieutenant had never led his men into a losing battle, and there in the temple was no different, and yet it was. You rob Kali of her blood, yet still shall she thirst, and still will it be quenched. We die, but Mother Kali lives, and blood shall be hers. You'll curse this night you've stolen the girl. The lad's laughter rang in that old temple, but I'd been in India too long for to join him. But last night we destroyed every thug in the area. Your village is safe. Why leave? Thugs die, but Kali lives, and so do her curses. My people and I will leave. Abandon this place. And the more I thought on the old guru's words, the less I took to that which was happening around me. I cannot go, Nigel Sahib. My love is for you. My place is with you. I must stay. And so you shall, darling. So you shall. I tried reason, but there was none. So the girl was one of 'em. She may have broken away, but something like the guru's curse, well, it works on one who's believed. Gets to him, it does. Sergeant, the girl stays, and that's that. Set up quarters for her. It ain't in me to hate the man. He was in love. He couldn't have known there was nothing for me to do but post the guard and wait the long night. The old priest had promised the taking of blood, and that night it had flowed. All for gods like this, sir. Half our men, ash white, as though every drop of blood was drained from his body, and those wounds. With the killings, the blindness took over completely. The thugs are dead, sir, and the villagers gone, but somehow something's carrying out that curse. That's enough, Karen. You're frightening the girl. That night 'twas me who patrolled them lonely streets. 'Twas me who stalked Webley in hand for that bloodthirsting thing, and 'twas me who left 4 men to sleep while doom suckled at their throats. I came at the end of me shift to wake the next man to go on. You gotta act, sir. Do something before I do. Don't judge him as harshly as I did. He loved the girl, no matter what else happened. He didn't waver none in that. Lieutenant, don't you see? Until you carried that girl off from the temple, none of this happened. The curse. I see superstitious drivel, and I see I can't trust you any longer. Then do without me. With wires still down, someone should try to reach headquarters and get the relief column here early. I volunteer, sir. Of course, I never got so far. Thoughts kept filling my mind. I thought of a gent from Hungary I'd once met, and the things they do there to ward off evil, creatures of the night. Maybe for something like the likes of this thing it wasn't necessary. Yet as I waited for the sun to sink, it seemed it wouldn't hurt to be certain. There's 8 of my men lying dead in the barracks. 8 good men fit for little more now than drawing flies. I've got to do it. First it grew dark. Then finally the moon appeared. And that time my ferocious anger cooled, and I began hoping I'd see nothing. And just when I was hoping the hardest, I saw her moving to the lieutenant's room. I've heard it said that in the heat of battle men go mad. I've been in many a campaign, and would still deny it. but not after I burst into the blackness of that room. Crash! What I saw was horrible, but not horrible enough to stop me as I thrust the stake home. You've heard it now, sirs. 'Tis all the preparing I can do. Best now to see for yourselves. Good Lord, but Kern! Remember, I said the girl loved him. That's why she came to his room. I like to think that deep down he really didn't know what was going on. That he never knew the girl's curse was on him. That he never knew at night he was transformed into a blood-drinking monster. Smythe might not have been a full-fledged vampire, but he certainly was developing a taste for his work until he found out how much was at stake. Since the point's been driven home, you might as well go on to my next fright feast. So we meet again. Whoop, not that far, we don't. So we meet again, he. I knew you couldn't keep from joining me in another monstrous mess of murderous mayhem. The compulsion for revulsion is much too strong for us to be able to ignore the call from the world of darkness. So on this, rather dreary occasion, allow me to present a woeful tale of witchcraft, a subject that some call fact and some call fancy, but perhaps I should let you be the judge. Trial by fire. Hear me, ye unholy powers of the night. Awaken to my call. Give to me the strength and power to avenge my ancestors, for the time is now. For you, Judge Harker, the end is near. For you are kin to the first Judge Harker, who burned my ancestors to purge them of witchcraft. From this night forward, revenge upon all the witch-burning Judge Harkers shall be melted out to you. Not melted. Shall be meted out to you. Rega Flaxus Muir. The scene is a small New England town. The time is the present. Judge Alfred Harker is in the midst of a tightly contested political campaign, and this night is the beginning of his downfall. So again, let me remind you, as a judge of long standing whose heritage includes some of the most famous, hang it, Judge! We know your ancestors burned witches. That's all you ever talk about. We want to find out about your political beliefs, not your family tree. Well, my friend, you may think your insult is well taken, but it seems to me that there are too many people such as you who disregard the importance of ancestry. Consequently, Rega Flexus Muir! The strange words had an even more strange effect. At once the crowd became silenced. The judge, somewhat befuddled, struggled inwardly to understand what he had said. For one very brief moment in time, nothing happened. And then the judge's heckler toppled over dead. All right, everyone stand back. Give the doc room. He's dead, Chief. Heart attack, I'd say. Heart attack? Oh yeah, if you ask me, the judge used his own brand of witchcraft. Urged on by the judge's political opponents who kept the subject of witchcraft blazing, the newspapers and the townspeople taunted him mercilessly. And now, if any of you good people have any questions, Judge Harker, in view of your noble background and ancestry, I'd like to know which witches you intend to burn first, if you're elected. I know you, Councilman Davis. You're just trying to bait and ridicule me to further the cause of your own candidate. Well, let me tell you this. Rega Flexus Muir! Rega Flexus Muir! Judge Harker was unable to believe his own ears. He had no intention of mouthing those ridiculous words, yet he had done so, and everyone had heard. Councilman Davis staggered and fell. He did it again. Judge Harker cast a spell. He is using witchcraft. The crowd roared its anger. Insults and threats cascaded against Judge Harker's ears as his friends quickly hustled him out of the auditorium. You're a fool, Harker. What are you trying to do, ruin us all? I'm sorry, I don't know what made me say it. When we asked you to run on our ticket, we didn't expect you to act this way. You realize you're setting the whole town against us. If you want to lose everything, that's your business. But if you come up with any more of that witchcraft bunk, we'll chuck you out in the cold. Gentlemen, please, I don't know what's happening. I'm so confused. I haven't slept in days. Something, I just don't know. Well, you'd better know by tomorrow night. You have a public debate with your opponent scheduled. If you don't make a good showing and come out a winner, you're through. The car deposited Judge Harker before his home and drove off. As he climbed the steps to the front door, he felt he had aged 100-fold. Gilda, I'm home. Yes, Alfred, and how did it go tonight? Terrible. It happened again, Gilda. I don't know how or why, but it happened again. Don't fret about it, Alfred dear. I'm sure things could be worse. Wearily, the judge retired to bed, where he slept fitfully. During the following day he spent every minute in feverish preparation, and when, that evening, he strode upon the platform to face his opponent, he felt ready, even though his hand trembled. And in the basement of his home, his wife Gilda was also ready. The debate started peacefully enough, but soon grew in intensity, for the judge knew how much depended on the outcome. His opponent knew that he too was on the verge of success, if he could make the judge commit one mistake. And I say to you, Judge Harker, if you knew half as much about economics as you do witchcraft, you blundering idiot, don't speak to me of witchcraft. Rega flaxus mure! The moment the words sprang from his lips, the judge knew all was lost. He staggered backward. The crowd was suddenly raised to fever pitch, and the judge's opponent fell dead. He's the devil's own! Get him! Kill him! Not far away, the judge's wife hurried to the front door to answer a frantic knocking. Well, what is it? Miss Harker, you'd better hurry. The townspeople are dragging your husband to the town square. They're going to burn him for practicing witchcraft. Deep in the blackness of her heart, Gilda Harker knew that her revenge was almost complete. She wanted very much to see the judge burn, to see the final act, and pretending concern for him, she rushed towards the square. My husband, what are they doing to you? In the square, the mob surged uncontrolled. The judge is roughly thrown up against a pillar, cords wrapped hurriedly around him. Stop! Oh, stop! You're all wrong! All wrong! Hurry up! You won't practice your evil around here anymore. Wood, garbage, clothing, anything that will burn is thrown at his feet. His pleas go unheard. His prayer is unanswered. And then the kerosene. And the match! Let me through! Let me through! Gilda Harker burst into the forefront of the crowd and gazed with a gloating satisfaction at the pyre. But to her audience she presented a different emotion. Stop, you fiends! Help him! Don't let him die! Help him! But as she enacts her role, the flames burn through the bonds encircling the dying judge, and by some remote hand he lurches forward, falling heavily upon his wife. Together, in a flaming, tumbling mass, they fall to the ground. The sickening thud of her head striking pavement is heard, and the crowd gasps and draws back as from her now burning body issue the demons that ruled her soul. When at last the flames had disappeared and the people drew near the warm wisp of smoke trailing upward, they saw that the judge, though dead, was burned not at all, while the evil remains of his wife Gilda were nothing but ashes. And proving his innocence, Judge Harker had fulfilled his destiny and burned a witch. Which just goes to prove you can't trust anybody. So don't burn any witches, gang. The life you save may be your mother-in-law. Now, frenzied followers, we peek in on life in an insane asylum during the early part of the last century, when madness was judged and treated harshly. But who can really judge madness? Separating the sane from the insane becomes difficult, and often, as we'll see in this little terror tome, becomes just a matter of point of view. The iron door clangs open, and the stench of crowded, unwashed humanity assails your nostrils as the guard leads you down the slime-coated stone steps. Hollow, empty, mumbling and giggling rises up out of the darkness below. Disgusting, but it's your lot, and you must make the most of it. This here is a charity cases. Mr. Gorsham and any others we don't know what to do with. Lead on, Simmons. I ask to see everything. Don't hide the dregs. The guard prods and strikes with his birch rod at the babbling rabble, clearing a path for you. The squalor is boring, and your eyes search for something amusing, out of the ordinary. Get back! Get back! Let the new director have a look at you. Stand clear. Simmons, that one. Oh, him, sir. One of the strange ones. Pretty far gone he is. Got some pretty clear ideas. That's so? Let's see about that, Simmons. Excuse me, we're gonna try that one again. That's so? Let's see about that, Simmons. You, fellow, what's your name? His voice is calm and steady, but with a trace of sadness in his manner, as though being a madman weren't good enough for him. My name is Victor Frankenstein. You don't say, sir. And I suppose I tell you Frankenstein is a book of fiction by Mary Shelley. Your appointment as asylum director was political. Your appointment as asylum director was political. meant to be soft birth and nothing more. You're delighted to find it can provide amusement, based on my life and experiences. Oh, really, Mr. Frankenstein? I'm surprised a renowned maker of monsters like yourself idles his time away here. Have you no creations on hand? Of course. My latest experiment is right over there. What the? Roar! Watch it, sir. This one's a this one's a killer. A regular animal. Lord, what a brute! You stare at the massive, frightening Hulk, refusing to consider it as a man, hating it for the fear it makes you feel. Look at that. The mindless wretch is glaring at me. Me! Decisively, you wrench the punishment rod from the hands of the guard and lash out at the chained form. Roar! There! Teach you to stare at your betters! So, Mr. Frankenstein, your creation is rather a failure. A long way from being human. Hee hee. Yes, I've been studying the problem. It's the brain. I must operate soon. Give him a new mind. You grow tired of the game. Humoring a madman is tedious and boring. Shut up, you fool. I'm tired of your lunatic ravings. You're not Frankenstein, you're nothing. An adult-minded nothing. Remember this, all of you. I won't indulge your mad fancies. The quicker you realize you're mindless vermin, the better your lot will be. Away from the stench-laden lunatic atmosphere of the dungeon, you feel better, calmer. Your curiosity returns. Those two will bear watching, Simmons. What do you know about them? Well, the big fella's almost always been here. Committed as a lad. Got more violent each year. The other's a former medical student. Got a bit much for his family to handle. Really believes the Frankenstein rubbish. Had a history of grave robbing and corpse mutilation, trying to create life. Well, he's got his monsters right enough. That's all any of them down there are. And that's how I'll treat 'em. Days drift by. You fall into a work routine, but the fascination brought by these two charges continues to hold. My research is going quickly. Soon I'll be able to do something about that defective mind, and you'll be the complete creation I had envisioned. And you never miss the opportunity to show them how much you resent the very interest you feel. Witless brute! Wild animal! This is how I handle the likes of you. What do you think of this operation, Mr. Frankenstein? Insanity is sin. I'm not here to pamper you, but to punish you. That's what you should expect from me, because that's what you'll get. Then one night, terrible noises burst throughout the building, crashing and crying to bring you bolting from the deep slumber of a man with a job well done. Simmons, what the devil? Inmates broken free. Overrunning asylum. Frankenstein is leading all of them. All of them, even the big... Ah! Simmons, what are you saying? What can we do? You bend over the now still form, wanting it to be alive so you won't be alone. Outside the hallway vibrates with wild noises. What can we... No! Oh, Lord! No! With the savage cry of a vengeful animal, the unchained maniac lunges towards you, raw hatred unleashed. You can't do this. I'm the director. You can't. Stop! Like leeches of steel, the blood fingers tighten on the soft flesh of your throat. The room grows dark, and you know that the last sight you will ever see is that of the wooden beams of the ceiling and that ugly, hate-drenched face. Long moments, perhaps hours later, you find vision swimming back to you, and you know the joy of being recalled to life. So quiet. Guards must have been able to get their inmates under control. You raise up from the bed you are lying in, fumbling with the gas lamp, still feeling weak and very awkward from the attack. They didn't act a minute too soon. Thought I'd died for sure. Light from the lamp suddenly floods the room, and your eyes dart to the dresser mirror you are facing, and the truth about why you're still alive. Ah! You are still screaming when the sound of rushing footsteps hurtle into your room. See, I did it. From now on, you'll believe it when Victor Frankenstein tells you about an operation. Good thing you died when you did. I don't know where I would have gotten another brain. Yeah! Hey, you may not be the authentic Frankenstein, but you gotta admit the boy's a real runner-up. Though I suppose Gorsham resents his cutting remarks. Probably finds him monstrous. Oh well, on to the next fear feast before we all go nuts. Ready for a change of pace, fellow fiendsters? Let's see if I can arrange for you to face the brooding menace of the Changeling. And at this point, I'm going to go get some water. Just briefly. Okay. That should handle it. It was late afternoon, but darkness had already overtaken much of the aging mansion's interior, adding to the sinister effect of its rambling architecture. For the first time since leaving Boston, Rachel Meredith was having regrets. This way, miss. This way, miss. Mr. Hazeltine's been waiting. All those stares from the townspeople when I said I was coming here. Small wonder I'm nervous. Mr. Emmett. Oh, no, we're gonna continue. The butler ushered Rachel into the library. Shadows cast by the flickering flames of the fireplace added one more macabre touch to the old building's gloom. Cold eyes peered balefully at her from under the dark brow of the man facing her. I'm Emmett Hazeltine, Miss Meredith. Welcome to my house. My lawyer gave you a glowing recommendation. I'm sure you'll be a fine governess for the boy. Thank you, Mr. Hazeltine. I hope your wife and son think so too. I certainly will try. Emmett Hazeltine's face grew darker. No one told you? My wife's been in an asylum since just after giving birth. Incurably insane. What the boy thinks doesn't matter. I'm sorry, I didn't know, but it's important that the child and I get along or else. That's between you and him. My work here in the library demands all my time. It's essential. Handle the boy as you will. This time of day he's usually in the garden by the pond. Lathrop will show you the way. Hazeltine faced his bookshelf, shutting Rachel out without the chance of reply. The butler appeared and led her to the back of the house, outside into the fading sunlight. Master Donald, I've brought Miss Meredith, your new governess. What's behind your back? What are you hiding? Nothing, Lathrop. Rachel felt herself at once impressed and repelled by the boy, neat and handsome, yet somehow distant and removed, his delicate-featured face an immobile mask. As they approached, Donald brought his hand out from behind his back. Nothing but this! Dear Lord, it seems to have been killed by some kind of animal. Flushed with anger, the butler sprang forward, sending the mutilated carcass flying from the child's grip. You little monster! I've had enough of your tricks. Time you learned a lesson. No, Mr. Lathrop! As long as I'm governess, you're never to lay a hand to this boy. Any child's naturally curious about death. That's why he had it. Very well, miss, we'll see. See how you feel when you hear about the first governess. Rachel took the boy to his room, then burst into the library, outraged and annoyed, repeating the incident to the brooding master of Hazeltine House. It's nothing to me, Miss Meredith. Where the boy's concerned, Lathrop will obey your wishes. Now, if you're done disturbing my research. Just one more thing, Mr. Hazeltine. Another woman had my job. What happened to her? Hazeltine's large, strong hands brought his book shut with a loud snap. Boom. Rachel could not be sure if it were the man's words or the book's title that sent a shiver through her. She was killed, Miss Meredith. By some manner of wild animal, the authorities seemed to think. The chill of foreboding stayed with her through the evening until bedtime. I'm not sorry about the cat. It scratched me once. I'm glad it was killed, but having someone take my part was nice. No one ever did it before. Don't worry, Donald. I'm here to help whenever I can. Now you should be going to sleep. Rachel paused at the window. The garden below was a dark mass of shrubbery and shadows. The fine hair on the back of her neck suddenly tingled for an instant. One of the shadows seemed to move, then melt into the darkness. I must be tired. The strain of the first day. Wearily she returned to her own room. Rachel could not be sure, but as her heavy eyelids closed, there seemed to be a faint shuffling sound in the hall, pausing then moving along past, down towards the rooms of the other servants. The night's strangeness faded into morning, and the first of her tutoring with Donald. Donald, how do you expect to learn history while staring out that window? There's something going on. Something in the garden. It's happened again. God help us, it's Lathrop. Like the hound of hell had run him to earth. Rachel stared, transfixed with horror, then slowly noticed a chilling sound, a soft childish snicker. Donald, what are you doing? Stop it. A man's died out there. Only Lathrop. Nasty old Lathrop. I hated him and he hated me. Everyone hates me. That's a terrible thing to say. It's not true. What about me? What about your father? He's worse than Lathrop. Worse than anyone. You're the only one who doesn't, Miss Meredith. The only one. Rachel wanted to contradict the terrible accusation of the small, solemn face, but there was no way. Donald's words weighed heavily on her until evening, when she could stand it no more. "Mr. Hazeltine, I've got to speak to you about Donald now." "There's no need. After what's happened to Lathrop, every other servant's quit. I see no reason for you to stay on." "I had hoped to have a solution before now, before another's death. But it's not easy. So many books. So little time." "No reason? What about your son? Your own son? Books! You spend your days looking for answers amid this jumble of witchcraft and sorcery. For that you neglect your own son. Stop calling him my son. I know that little whore for what he is. A changeling, Miss Meredith. Do you know of them? Spawn of the devil's creatures left in the cradle in exchange for human infants. My child was stolen and this left in his place. Why else do you think my wife went mad? The pure fury of the Emmett Hazelton. Well, that's what it says, guys. The pure fury of the Emmett Hazelton's words hit Rachel like mallet strokes. She backed slowly from the room. "But someday I'll find it. The spell, the curse, the means to destroy him, to send him back to the pit from which he came." "Dear Lord, he's insane, completely insane." She fled the library, racing up flights of the dark, creaking stairs. "Donald, what are you doing up?" Noise woke... Excuse me. That's true. Noise woke me. I heard voices, shouting. "Donald, dear, listen to me. It isn't safe here any longer. Your father's not well. I've got to get you away. Yes, I think I'm ready to leave now." "No, dear God, no. This time it's not nerves." "Donald, let's go back to your room." The moonlight outside the open landing window somehow pulled Rachel's eyes. A deathly quiet hung over the mansion and darkened garden sound. Then Rachel heard the sound. This was no sleep fog delusion. Now she could hear the door from the garden. Then again the shuffling, slithering. Now inside. "Donald, I don't think we should be out here. Let's..." "Come on, Miss Meredith. This way." From the yawning black depths of the stairway, more sounds drifted up. Wood splintering and cracking as the library door gave way. "Donald, don't go down there. Get back. Donald!" "Come on. We want to see what's going on. Come on, Miss Meredith." Crash! The glow of the kerosene lamp crept surely down the winding flights and disappeared in the vicinity of the library. Seconds later, the darkness was split by shrieking horror. "Donald! Oh my God! Donald! Yeah!" Half running, half falling, Rachel descended the stairs only to freeze in maddening terror at the macabre tableau before her, as sounds and odors of unearthly carnage stunned her remaining senses. Eeeeee! Then, as though only a nightmare instead of this phantasmagoric reality, she raced forward for the boy, hoping still to save him. "Donald, listen to me. Come back! Come back! The lamp! You've dropped the lamp!" He shrugged, free, sending Rachel reeling backward as the lamp hit the carpeting and scattered books. Above the crackling flames and Hazeltine's screams, she could hear the growing giggle of the boy. The library became an inferno which would soon spread to the entire house, and the dancing shadows of its flames all but drove Rachel mad. As she sank into oblivion, Donald's laughter grew to a word shouted over and over, the name of the loathsome thing clawing and destroying Hazeltine. Men from the village found her the next morning sprawled on the lawn of what once had been Hazeltine House. Inside, they found the charred remains of Emmett Hazeltine, nothing more. "She's gonna be okay. Little delirious now, but she'll be okay." That's what he called it. That thing. He called it Mother. So, Donald had a pretty hot time at his family reunion. Like all mothers, his tended to be overprotective, as Mr. Hazeltine found out. And you'll find out there's more monstrous mayhem awaiting you when you pick up issue number 7 of Eerie. And here we are, guys, issue number 7. Alright, so that's all we're going to do for this one, horror fans. Creepy is coming at you next week. I'm out.